I'm Grace, and this is Truth Be Told with Grace. I'm out here with my chickens. It's my favorite place to be. And yes, I know I'm a little overdressed for the occasion, but I had a lunch date today, and I just hadn't gotten around to changing yet, so I decided to come on out. I also had a doctor's appointment for my knee, my 5-week checkup, and because I had a double meniscus repair, I have not been able to walk for 5 weeks, and you have to be 6 weeks. No weight. You can't put any weight on it. So here we are, and I get to start trying to learn to walk next week. Yay! Got my crutches here. Uh-oh. Probably going to drop them. Let me just lay them down because I know I'm going to knock them into myself. That's what I do all the time. So I wanted to talk today about sleep and sleep paralysis and narcolepsy. I have narcolepsy. I haven't always had narcolepsy though. Mine is secondary narcolepsy. I had a head injury. I have a really rude wrister over there. I'm so sorry. I had a head injury in 2008, and I remember after that, I started to be really, really tired. Like I could not get enough sleep. It was horrible, and it's painful. It's painful because you can't. You know how when you're trying to fight sleep and you're just like you can't keep your eyes open? It hurts. Imagine being like that all the time. No matter how much you sleep, you're still fighting sleep all the time. It's horrible. And so finally, I mean, it was like a year, and I was going to doctors, and I finally they sent me to a sleepologist, thinking that I had sleep apnea. And I was like, I don't snore, I don't have sleep apnea. And they said, well, because you had the head injury, you may have sleep apnea. Okay, whatever. So I went, and lo and behold, the doctor, the pulmonologist, it was a pulmonologist. So I've seen pulmonologists and sleepologists. I'm not really sure why a pulmonologist does sleep studies, but whatever. So that was how I discovered I had narcolepsy. And I mean, he diagnosed me immediately. And I was so relieved because I had been so flippin' tired. Oh, hi, I got a visitor. Yay, you're my first visitor. Welcome, welcome. I'm talking about sleep paralysis and the demons that attack you. Do you have sleep paralysis? Do you have narcolepsy? If you do, this is the video for you. And I'm talking about how I got narcolepsy because I wasn't born narcoleptic. I had a head injury. That's how I became narcoleptic. So I never realized that my abilities while I sleep was anything unusual until I was in college, and I was doing a psych class, and so we had to be guinea pigs for the higher level psych students, and we had to participate in one of their, like they were doing research studies. They were learning how to interview. It was supposed to only be a 15-minute interview. You had to you had to pick a topic, and I picked sleep. I just randomly, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Let's just get it over with. And I met with the student. And she was like a graduate student. She was doing this interview, and she's asking me all these questions about sleep. And then she says, when you sleep, are you aware that you're sleeping? Like, are you aware that, and you dream, are you aware that, I'm going to snatch your butt up. Shh. Are you aware that you're dreaming? And I said, yeah. And she was like, you are? I mean, she like leaned in on me. Well, can you be quiet? She like leaned in, right? She was so freaking interested. And I was like, what? I don't understand. Like, isn't everybody aware that they're dreaming when they're dreaming? Of course. But no, evidently not. And then she goes on to ask, well, can you control your dreams? Sure. Really? So what was supposed to be a 15-minute interview ended up like a 45-minute thing. And I had no clue that I had these unusual abilities. And then in 2008, I had a head injury and I became narcoleptic. And an interesting thing happened. It enhanced the abilities I already had. So I was already a lucid dreamer. I could already control my dreams. I can actually problem solve and build things and write stories in my head. And I have, I can make up stuff and, direct my dreams where I want them to go. And so when I became narcoleptic, and I understood what that meant, then I began to use it to my advantage. So, sleep paralysis. First of all, let me tell you, you're not being attacked by demons. There are no demons attacking you if you have sleep paralysis. No demons, okay? The reason you think it's demons is because that is a trick of the brain. And there's all this like terminology that I'm not going to go into because I'll butcher it. But when you sleep and you go into that REM state, your body and your mind disconnect. That is why when you dream and you're dreaming you're running, you don't actually start kicking in the bed, okay? So while you're in that disconnected state, if you awaken to consciousness, you'll have sleep paralysis. So why the demons? Well, because your brain can't understand why it can't feel its body, and it panics. And the reason you have that sensation of something pressing on your chest, there's nothing pressing on your chest. But what's happening is when we sleep, we breathe a little bit differently. When we're awake, we breathe with the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles. When you're asleep, you just use the diaphragm. So when you're disconnected and you have sleep paralysis, you can't raise and lower your chest. You can't use those muscles. So you think there's something sitting on your chest. The brain interprets it as something sitting, a weight sitting on your chest. I'm sorry, I have very rude chickens in the background. All right, so what I did, my roosters are having a fit back there. Once my sleepologist explained to me what was happening physically, I purposed in my mind that I was no longer going to be afraid of the demons. Thank you. May God guide you too. I decided that I was not going to be afraid of the demons because they didn't exist. So the next time I went to sleep and I had sleep paralysis, it was really scary, but I chose to tell myself there are no demons. This is just a trick of my brain. I am not going to fight them. I'm just going to relax and let whatever happens happen. Well, guess what? Something happened, like something really cool. I entered this floating state. Okay? I started floating. And it was like being underwater, like at the ocean where you're getting tossed about, you know, only it was like space. It's like I was in the clouds. It's like fluid space. And it was like kind of like a gray fog mist. It was like clouds or something like that. But I'm just floating and I'm just letting it take me all over the place. And if I'm going to be completely honest, there's a little bit of a sexual component to it because there's, you know, your brain's kind of alive in there and everything is just, you're weightless and you're feeling everything, but you can't move anything. And so, thank you. I was born with them. Well, they developed anyway. But so once I figured out that I was not being attacked by demons and I just let myself relax, then I entered this crazy floating state where it was very euphoric. And I was just floating all over the place. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. And I wanted it to last longer. So when I started feeling like I was coming out of the sleep paralysis, it was so disappointing. And now I get so excited when I have sleep paralysis that I actually sometimes push myself out of it by mistake. But so when I start waking up and I can feel the connection coming back, I make myself relax and go back to sleep, and I shut down my brain and I push myself back into sleep paralysis so I can play a little bit longer. Now, I joined a support group on Facebook for narcolepsy, and there was a thread and they were talking about sleep paralysis and how terrifying it is. And they were talking about the demons that attack, and so I wrote in and I told them about my sleep paralysis game, and they thought I was nuts. Like it was like crickets. And so if you have sleep paralysis, like again, I didn't realize that this was anything unusual, that I could pass the demon stage and into the euphoric floating stage. So I'm going to tell you, if you have sleep paralysis, okay, here we go. Purpose in your mind. All right, and you're going to have to practice. For me, it kind of came naturally because I was already a lucid dreamer. Purpose in your mind before you go to bed. Just know, if it happens, I'm not being attacked by demons. You're going to have to override your own brain chemistry, all right? Because your brain is going to be screaming, oh my God, I'm being ripped apart by demons. Oh my God, fight, fight, fight. I got to move. I can't move. All right? Make yourself calm down. Keep telling yourself, I am not being attacked by demons. This is simply a physiological problem that's happening. My brain and my body are disconnected, and I'm okay. I can breathe. I'm fine. I am not being hurt. And just let it take you. Like, just let the demons take you. And when you relax and you just let it take you, you'll start feeling this floating sensation. Okay? And you're going to feel like you're just like going all over the place, right? Let it happen. Just let it twist and turn and give into it. Give into it. And let it take you where it's going to take you. And you'll find that it is absolutely an amazing feeling. It is like just being completely weightless in your own bed. And there's nothing to fear. There's no demons. There are no demons. There are demons. I'm married to one right now, actually. Hopefully not too much longer. But there are demons. But they're not attacking you. Okay? So, if you have any questions, post it in the comments section. I'm glad to talk to you. And thank you for tuning in. And I'm Grace. This is Truth Be Told with Grace.